Okay. All right, guys. So today is going to be something totally different than what Ms. Prasad does. I am not going to be telling y'all what we're going to learn. Y'all are going to have to figure it out yourselves. So as a whole class, we're going to be looking at 12 examples and non-examples of what we're learning today. Just look at the example part, because that's the main idea what today's concept is going to be about, okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. What it is.
Yes. Yes. And if y'all don't know what it is, it's fine. This is totally new to y'all, and it's okay. All right? All right. And if y'all can't see, y'all can always just move around, okay? All right. So on the first slide, what pictures do we have? Does anybody know what these are? Yes, Christian, I saw your hand go up.
Equal and non-equal?
Yep, equal and non-equal. All right. Anybody have any, like, something that they want to add? Yes?
They're kind of like scales.
Yeah, scales.
So, you have like, say 1/3 and 1/3. You put them together and then they have like the same. But 1/3 and 1/4,
Yeah.
down because, and then 1/3 and higher because 1/3 is less.
Yeah. So in reading, and what today's concept is about, is that everything needs to be equal or stable. And that's basically it. Because the non-example is basically like everything's kind of, wonky, it's not really.
Unbalanced.
Yeah, unbalanced is a good word to say. And then we're going to go on to our second example, which is that you, as the author, wants to get the reader to recognize your stance is valid. So what valid means is that is an argument or to the point, having a sound basis in logic or fact. So, and stance means that you want to agree. So for example, if you stand against bullying, that means that you are against bullying. And the non-example is that you want to get the reader to agree with your opinion. Does anybody know what opinion is? Yes? Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
Opinion also is like your idea. It might not be somebody else's idea. Like if you have your own opinion about something, that means that other people might not agree with you, but it's your own thinking.
Yeah, so like for example, if I say like, oh yeah, I love chocolate ice cream. And let's just say Grant is like, no, strawberry ice cream is the best. That is like an opinion. Yes?
It's like if like you like something but like somebody else doesn't.
Yeah. Yes, Docs?
So it's like if you read a book and you think the book's good and some other people think it's like not that good, that's your opinion that you think it's good.
Yeah. So that's the non-example. So example means that it's fact. You gotta go to the point. You gotta make sure there is evidence behind your fact, evidence behind your reason, and just a lot of evidence basically. Next example. And does anybody know? Anybody want to try to guess? All right, yes, Knox?
So it's like you're talking and other people are arguing, like you're saying your ideas and other people are like no, your idea's wrong and my idea's right.
Yeah, that is so true. So a non-example are people arguing to the point that they are trying to, what people say, an opinion. They're, two people are stating their opinion, they're gonna get into like a disagreement, which is, for the example, is that they already have their, their facts, they already have their meaning and everything. Yes, Grant? Yeah. Yes, I like the word you said. What word was it again? Arguing. All right, yes?
It's kind of like the non-example is they're rejecting from what you're saying, the non-example is that they're arguing about that. Like, one just follows the rules and the other one's not. They have their own opinion, but like,
Yeah.
they think about it.
Yeah. So like everybody's saying a speech. So in a speech you have to have facts. You have to have, you know, your reason, your claim. You have to. All right. Yes.
It's kind of like lawyers. They're fighting against like they're fighting against like the other side.
Yeah, that is so true. Yep. So examples. Just remember, we're only looking at this. I have both of them. So you can see like the difference. But remember, the example is you're doing based on logic, facts, you know, and you have to have a reason. All right. This example is that acknowledge the opposing side has a valid stand. So valid means correct. Yes. And stand. Like for the example about the bullying, you're against it. Yes. And then
Valid means
yes.
valid means they have like a point.
Yeah, to the point. And a non-example is that they ignore the others, ignores that there is another acceptable stance to take. All right, yes, Christian?
It's like on the judge court, like they were arguing and like their opinion was different and stuff.
Yeah, that is very true. So, all right, yes, Saki?
Just to point out, lawyers give facts and then the judges see if the facts are real about their client and decide if the client is guilty or if they didn't do it and another client did it.
Yes, it?
The judge kind of like the judge like it's like they're arguing about the judge is saying which one is right or which one's wrong and kind of saying like based off of the facts they did have on that kind of crime scene.
Yeah. So let's look at the non-example. What does somebody think that this means? So again, that this person thinks that they ignore that there's another acceptable stance to take. So like another answer there is. All right. Yes.
Maybe they think that like if the other person says that it's like this answer and they're just like ignoring them, maybe it's another answer.
Yeah, that's true. So since Sarah said this, what do you think this means? This example. All right. Yes, not.
Maybe like a judge is like taking like so say you're in court and then the judge thinks that you're telling the truth and then the other person is lying. It's a balance. It's like a correct answer.
All right. All right. So the example is that a style and a tone of a language that is appropriate for the subject and audience. And the non-example is that usually in this type of concept, they do not use first person point of view. There's sometimes that they might, but usually it's not like, you know, so for example, like I think that strawberry ice cream is the best or chocolate ice cream. So they will use words like I, me, my, like the first person type. Or yes, Sophia?
And they can have an opinion, like other people don't really have, like they might not have that. It's kind of like an opinion, like other people might not think that. And it's like I like this, but like somebody else might not like it.
Yeah. So the example is that they would use a tone that is acceptable for the audience. So they would use like, for example, like let's just say that I'm talking about saving the garden or saving, you know, animals. I would use like in 2009 the San Antonio Zoo, blah 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 blah. Okay, like something like that. You know, I won't use that. I think the animals should be saved because that. You know, I would need to use evidence to back up my claim, like why I think animals should be saved. Alright, this is the next example, which is that it has to be based on evidence, logic, and reasoning, like with how we've been talking about. And the non-example of that is based on emotions. So like you won't use your own emotions to back up what you're trying to say. Or yes, it?
So we're like, for the example that we want to use graphs.
Yeah.
And like for the non-example, we don't want to use our emotions to back ourselves up.
Yeah, you can use graphs, you can use anything that has a logic reason. You don't want to go based on how you feel, because that's not really evidence to back up what you're trying to say.
That's just trying to cover.
Yeah. Yes.
So the example is like a bunch of graphs. Like it looks like maybe a like graph that you see normally whenever you're going to buy stuff like on the stock market or something, and then a graph that looks like how high stuff has been into the price of one price station. And then
Yeah.
maybe grid like using that with like fractions, and then maybe a wavy grid like someone's heart rate. And I don't really know what that one would be.
No, it's fine. We don't know what these graphs are. You're learning about them too. No, but yeah, but like
It's like a lot of graphs that people use to support evidence.
Yes.
On like, so like if your job is doing evidence to see how it goes.
yeah. All right. Yes.
I know what some of them are. Like this, the one with the pointy things is this dot. Like it's like a company, like growing business.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a bar chart, a pie graph.
Hi,
And I don't know about.
percentage of doing something.
All right. Next one.
Some of those are like you can go on like an app and see like how businesses are doing and like see how much money like if they're selling a business.
Yeah.
And then like you can just see how much money it is and stuff.
Yeah. That's what a chart's for. But I just wanted to show like an example of it. So, like this is, I mean, you could use charts for an example, like how I said about saving like the animals. You could use a chart. You could use pictures. You could use like information you find like on the web. But you don't want to go based on your own emotions about it. All right. So our next example is that it requires research. So like I said, you wanna go and look stuff online. You know, you wanna make sure that you research everything before you put it on there. Because like I said, you don't wanna go based on emotions. And the non-example is that that it requires the writer to pick a side and gives an opinion. So you don't want people to pick a side. You just want to go based on like, okay, this is what I said, and this is why I'm backing it up. And the other example would be that it should be evaluated. I have to like
Evaluated.
yes. So like looked at based on whether or not it is good, and the non-example is it should not be about whether or not you agree. So you don't good, and should not be whether or not that you agree. So like I said, like for the example again about the ice cream, you know, that is like a non-example. And this one is like based on whether or not it is good. And this example is like again about the sharks, but like the writer uses research, reasons, evidence, and logic to make a claim. And this non-example is that the writer takes a stand, supported with reasons, and appeals to the audience for support. So like I said, you want to go based on reason, research, and evidence, and logic to make the claim. And you do not want to look for audience for the support. You just want to stick with this. And the example that it should be presented with evidence, and the non-example is does not have any evidence to support their claim. So, like again about the garden, you know, or the zoo, you want to present what you're talking about with evidence. Or yeah, you want to talk about with evidence, if you, like, and if you don't, it's basically you talking about it with the emotions that you have.
Wait,
Mhm.
so what if you, does that count with all of the emotions like parents? If it's like, so,
Like, are you having?
are you showing like emotions with it as well? Or just like
You want to show emotion, but you don't want to go based on how you feel. So you could be like, the reason why chocolate ice cream is the best is because, and then you'll look at information about why chocolate ice cream is the best. You know, you don't want to be like, chocolate ice cream is the best because I say it is. You know, that's like, you know, you don't want to do that. Alright. Alright, so another example is that it looks for why the author was writing it and what was the author trying to prove. And the non-example is that it provided an opinion. So, for example, that you want to look at why the author was writing what he was saying and what he was trying to prove about the paragraph. And the non-example is that was he providing an opinion? If it is, then it's not what we're talking about. And the last slide is, so this is like an example of what I was trying to say. So for the example that doctors agree that it is okay to eat sweets in a moderate as long as you have a balanced and healthy diet overall. And the non-example is that I think that not all junk food is bad. So that is something that like will help y'all. Alright, yes?
Moderation means like once in a while.
Yeah, so once in a while it's okay to eat sweets according to the doctor, but like I think that not all junk food is bad. So that is something, yeah, that you know you will look at. Alright guys, so that concludes my slide. Does anybody has a feeling about what it was about? Alright, yes, Christian?
Like the judge court and also warning about it, like he was on it and he was warning about it, like what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Jail.
You're guessing?
So like don't say that I think that this, just don't try to read it. Like,
Yeah.
have actual evidence and prove that that's why like how you like chocolate ice cream likes, like why you like it. That
Yeah.
you should look up evidence. You don't say like not an example. I think that it's yummy and tastes good. Like look up evidence and don't try to read it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, yes, no?
No, so maybe it's like, it's not about your opinions. It's about like other people's. It's not just about you. It's about other people as well. Like you're not the only person in the world. There's other people as well.
Alright, yes, perfect.
I think it's like non-fiction because like all of it like says like research, and non-fiction means research,
Yeah.
and all the other stuff is like stuff that we use in fiction, like opinion,
Uh-huh.
and like maybe some facts, but like mostly opinions and like stories,
Yeah.
fake.
Mm-hmm. Alright, yes?
I think it's like a non-fiction story about jobs because there's many slides that that compare it to like a job, and it makes you think like if you're in that job and position.
Yeah. Alright, so it is a writing and text concept, and I will tell y'all what it is. This is, okay, let's see. Alright, yes, Brent, what do you think it is?
I was thinking it's made like for a
is about argumentative text and writing. So this is something new to y'all. Y'all probably was like, okay. So argumentative text is that you must have evidence, you must have research and logic behind what you're trying to say. So, like again, it's like I'm trying to do the zoo, I'm trying to save the animals. So, like I would put evidence on why I think animals should be saved. Yeah, so that's what argumentative text is about.
It's like there's one side that agrees with what, like, with an idea, and the person has another idea that isn't.
Yeah, so there could be two sides. There could be why a person thinks animals should be saved and why a person thinks animals should not be saved. So if you think animals should not be saved, you want to put reason why they should not be saved. And if you want to, like, so there could be two sides, but you don't want to put, you know, make one paragraph about, like, why animals should and why animals shouldn't be saved. So, like, one paragraph will be about why you think animals should be saved and why you know, and the other one, like, why you think animals should not. That was argumentative text is about. Or guess what?
Do you want to save animals from the zoo?
Oh, I mean, they're safe already. So, yes, I would love to do that. All right, yes?
So I don't think it was actually facts because there was like a bunch of like opinions.
Well, it is facts. Argumentative text is based on facts. It's not based on what you think. Well, yeah, it's based on what you think, but you have to have evidence behind it. So like I said, like, oh, I think chocolate ice cream is the best because I eat it all the time. Like, okay, but why? You know, just because you eat it all the time doesn't mean, like, it's the best, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
some people might not like it.
yeah, some people, like, you want to have evidence be like, oh, chocolate ice cream is the best because it's more healthier for you to eat, you know? Or like, I don't know. Or like, or, huh?
The only like is for ice cream, it's keto ice cream.
Yeah.
That's the only ice cream that I know that is healthy for you. Is ice cream has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah, or like dark chocolate. Like I could say like, oh, dark chocolate is the healthiest for you because it contains less sugar than regular or milk chocolate. Yes. And then like, and I'll have evidence based on why I think dark chocolate is good, and then y'all can be like, well, dark chocolate isn't good because blah 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 blah. Yeah. So what I'm gonna have y'all do now is that I take some non-examples and examples of argumentative text. It's like I'm gonna give y'all a piece of paper, and it's okay if y'all get it wrong or not. Like it's okay if y'all don't understand it yet. This is just an introduction of what we're doing. So I'm gonna be partnering her up in groups of 2, or maybe 3. All right. So, oh wait, who's the paper passer?
Win. City. Ready?
All right. Here. Just make sure they have this behind it too, okay? Like that one. Okay, that's that one.
Who's your teacher right now? All right.
Alright, you know what? You're just gonna be partnering up with your shoulder partner. So that's fine. We'll just do that. And then Sid and Carly and Blake, they'll just work together. I mean, groups of 3. Alright, yes. Oh, she's not here. Yeah, so y'all can do a group of 3. Alright. Alright, guys. Once y'all are ready, here's one over here by Alex's table.
do. Yes, we do. In the section, and I see your hand.
Oh, yes. Alright, hold on guys. So on this piece of paper, it has sentence stems for y'all to use. So on each paper, it will have like an example or a non-example of an argumentative text. And what are y'all gonna, I should have numbered them. I'll number them right now. And what you do is that you're gonna put the number, so like this one will have a number 2 on it. I'm gonna put that right now, and what y'all would do is that y'all would put a number 2. Y'all are gonna read what it says, and y'all are gonna determine if it is or if it's not an argumentative text. And y'all are gonna explain why it's not, or why it is. And right in the top it has sentence stems, so one is like, is a yes, that it is, yes, this is an argumentative text because, or no, it's not. And that's where y'all are gonna include it. Here it is. That's fine. If you wanna look with me. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that's fine. Just make it quick, because I already have 3 girls out. Alright guys, y'all can go. So there's one behind y'all. There's one over there. Alright.
I'll just record a little bit. Anybody, Kelly? Okay. Hold on.